I'll give you a little update here. I was up here during the week a couple nights and I didn't film nothing, but I want you to see what we had accomplished here. It was a little tough, but we finally come up with the exhaust system for the old bus motor here. We have a local metal fabrication shop, makes ductwork, and they have a machine, they make their own spiral pipe and all the fittings. So I bought 6-inch pipe, come out of the exhaust with 4-inch, and I don't want to cause no restriction on this. So what I did is I come out, and this front will be like a slat wall so we can allow ventilation through for the radiator on the old bus motor. And she goes all the way up, so that will get the noise and the fumes away from us. It's actually amazing how much quieter this is. So I'm getting ready to fire up the old motor for today and let her warm up, and that helps the hydraulics. And there it is, there's the old beauty, the 56-inch F pattern saw. A lot of comments on which saw shop we use, and I think a lot of people were interested in that blade guide. It was McCormick Saw Shop in Bethesda, Ohio. They do terrific work. I would highly recommend them to anybody. If you have a problem, he can fix it, no doubt about it. The man has spent his whole life in the sawmill business. In fact, their father had his own mill and they worked on it since they were kids. So you can't beat all that knowledge. So we're going to go ahead and get the bus motor fired up here, and we'll show you that here in a second. All right, we're up in the cab here. A lot of comments about the heat in the cab. I had went down, I don't know if you can see that or not. I got a little ceramic heater from Sam's Club, $35. No hoses, no problems running lines from the coolant system on the bus motor, and it plugs into my 1500 watt inverter, which easily handles that. And that inverter also handles all my controls, because right by my seat here there is what Edmondson calls the brain box, and it has all your relays. Everything in here runs on 110 volts. Every time you push a button, it sends electrical signals to relays, and then goes to the solenoid valves, which are on the carriage, and that's how everything actually works. Even the board thicknesses are all run off of micro switches, and not a computer in here, so this is old school. So we'll go ahead and fire it up here. Not bad, 30 degrees. She usually fires right up. And we'll go outside here. I'll show you the big old cloud of smoke. But you can see that gets a lot of the noise and the smoke away from us. Once the building's done, we're going to run it up a little bit higher to get it above that roof line. So waiting for the Eddie Horvath to show up here, and he's supposed to be bringing his machine back out today. So going to stand by the fire, keep warm, and we will talk to you here in a little bit. Hello YouTube, I'm here with the Eddie Horvath. Good morning. And we're getting ready to do our sawing routine for today, and we had already fought a couple of problems, had everything warming up here earlier, and I looked down and the belts on our hydraulic drive system, a couple of them had got thrown off for whatever reason. So we had to get underneath the old cover and tighten things up. So it's been a kind of an aggravating morning here, but that's just what it is when you run a sawmill. What do you want to cut there, Ed?
We're going to cut some white oak. We're going to put a bed on an old truck. It's about 6 4x4s and half a dozen planks. We're going to see if we can't roust one out of the pile there, put it up on the carriage.
Okay, so we'll get started here. We'll go get a log. We got the forklift running earlier, so it should fire right back up. And we'll get the thing scanned as far as metal, and then we'll be ready to start sawing here. So we'll be talking to you here in a bit. All right. We are going to adjust our 4/4 board thickness. Our 4/4 is coming in just a little light. I like to have it finish out at 1 1/8 off of the mill. and we're coming in like 1/16". That's not really industry standards. So we're going to give this thing just a quick tweak in here. And all you do on these mills is you unloosen it, you slide it up the rod, and that right there should give us a perfect 4/4. And we're going to try this piece of white oak out on the mill here. And what happens here, when you call for a set, there's a gate that comes up, and that rubber wheel back here runs this thing up. And as soon as it touches that little micro switch right there, it stops it. And that thing falls back down, and then you're ready for another set. So every time you hit a button, you're going to run that thing up, and whatever one you had called for, all the way up to there, it will absolutely go to that distance, and this falls right back down, and it goes back down to reset again. So that's how simple they worked. Everything today is all microprocessors, and nothing but troubles when things go wrong. Here, the worst thing we could have is a limit switch bad or a relay or something. And that's basically how it works. It's a crazy looking setup, but cuts very accurate. So we'll be ready to saw here in a minute. Alrighty, we're gonna get going here on sawing up a piece of white oak. It's the first time we ran any hardwood through this new blade. You've seen the first cut on that piece of pine. Hopefully we don't have no belt issues here. So we'll just see what happens. Just bring this old thing up here. Takes a little while to get the log up here. I'm going to taper this out a little bit. Alright. Lift on it. Alright, master dog time. Yeah, let's see what happens here. There's your white oak. I'm anxious to see what our board thicknesses did since we adjusted the old set works here. Trying to take it easy on these belts for a while. What's the thickness look like? Having Eddie check the thickness here just to see where we're at. I guess we did good. Alright, let's work on the other side of this thing. Yeah, he's going to make a truck bed here, so we're going to make some decking and some 4x. Looks like we're going to have some bark problems. Yeah. Oh, always something. Let me hold this up and we'll get in there and get some bark out of there. Yeah, these logs sat for a good while we were getting the building built. Get out there and get that. Alright, we're going to be back here in a second. I got to get out there and get some bark out of the way. So, alright, we're back. Got the bark out of the way here. And we'll continue on sawing this log. A bit more taper in it than I thought. And the saw seems to be doing all right. So we're basically sawing a frozen log right now. That bell off. And I think we'll taper this one back out again. And that'll work. Yeah, you get these tapered logs, you gotta play with them. And that white oak will hold up very well for Eddie's truck bed. He has a truck that's really, really whipped. And I don't even know what's holding that bed together right now, but time to do something about it.
tapers out. That's pretty easy to forget. Yeah, it seems to be doing nice. That's a nice white oak too, actually pretty clear. That'll work out to be a nice deck for Eddie. I just want to get in the center of that tree, then get him 2 4x4 rails out. Okay, I think we'll throw this back to the knees. I'd like to thank Mr. Louis McNeely again. That was so nice. That flag. Still waiting for the ladder. We haven't been able to put that up yet today, so. Hear the old bus motor humming though. There we go, perfect. Right down to 4 inches where we want it to be. Try to get Eddie some 4x out of here. Oh, how about that? That's nice. Also, I'd like to give a little shout out to Eddie's mom and dad, Mr. and Mrs. Horvath. I hear that they like watching the channel, so just want to give them a little shout out here. I'm trying to work this down to a can I can just split. Get them 2 4 inches out of it. So let's see what we do here. Let's see where it sets it. Nope. Gonna have to go back to, let's see, 8 1/4 heavy. And this button, I mean, this thing is really touchy. Now we'll get them 2 4x4s out of here. be pretty close anyway. Alrighty. And that takes care of that. So, we just got that sawed up ready, and gonna go ahead and get that stuff edged off for him, so we'll be talking to you in a bit.
Alrighty, Eddie's figuring out his lumber here.
If we edge them ones off over there, we'll have enough decking for us.
If not, we can always whack one up later on. But
Yeah, we got some of that.
yeah, the blades seem to do all right. I don't think we even have to adjust any lead or anything. I think eventually here we'll get some carbide on there, but we could probably saw up most of the logs we got on the site down here now with them steel teeth, as long as we don't hit rocks and dirt. Yeah, there's a few logs over there. Some of it's firewood. Most of that will be on the mill though at some point. So things are starting to come together. The old exhaust pipe, I think, made a big difference as far as noise today. I don't know if it was any quieter in the cab. And but we got a lot done again. A lot of little stuff. Just the way, it takes time. And there's the LEDs lit up there. You can see that's making a little bit of a difference underneath here. Don't need a lot of light. We don't really saw after dark, but early morning or cloudy days, it makes a little difference here. But all right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great week, and we will be with you next week. So have a great week, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.